Hey guys, thanks for coming along. Welcome to another edition of Saturday Mornings Outdoors. My name is Paul K. And we're on the banks of the mighty Mississippi here. And we're trying for striped bass. And it's pretty warm today and very humid and somewhat oppressive, but it looks real slick and almost no wind. So we got Mac chunks on the bottom. And we're trying for the early morning bite to see how our luck shines through. So stay tuned. Hopefully you can see us catch some fish, and we'll see how we make out. The trail boss will let you know. So today, on this early morning, see, when you see rafts of birds like that, that means there's bait around somewhere, but not at the moment. And they hang out until someone spots bait, and then they all free-for-all on top of the bait. I also hear a fish eagle, so hopefully that's some good news, which means there's bait. I haven't seen any yet, but we'll keep our eyes peeled. I just got here basically. About 82 degrees right now. It's very, very humid. I got my summer duds on, a pair of shorts and so forth. They say it's going to be close to 100, and uncharacteristically, it's clear as a bell out. It's been raining every other day, including last night, downpours, but it is what it is. Eventually we'll get into the dry part of the summer where everyone's grass burns out, but we ain't there yet. So this just flipped to the west. It's going this way. It just turned and it's going that way, and that means the tide is high, and now it's going to start going down. And there's not too much room to land fish when you come fishing on a high tide. On the low tide, of course, the water backs way off, and it's a lot easier to land fish. So it's kind of steep when you come on that kind of tide, when it's high like that on the canal. Mac chunks on the bottom, and wind is west, almost calm, around 4 or 5 miles an hour. And the moon stage is probably 2 days past the first quarter, which means it's starting to build up. If you look up in the sky, you'll see that half moon, kind of like that. And the bulk of the light of the moon will be on the right-hand side because it's just building. The light moves right to left. So barometric pressure is steady at 30.12 this morning when I left. That's relatively high pressure. And those are the conditions this morning. And we'll see what comes of this. Hopefully we'll have a good time and good tide and have some fun. We'll let you know. And if you look close right under that tree there, Mr. Cormorant has come around to say hi, the diving duck, which means there's bait around. And those birds are amazing. These fish are attacked from every angle. The bait fish, really. They're there for food. They really are. Those birds will dive under, and they literally fly underwater. They fly. They flap their wings, and they fly underwater with their eyes open. They look for bait, and they try to catch bait. Then they come back up for air, for surface. If you ever get a chance to see some type of documentary on those birds, it's pretty amazing. And then you got the fish hawks. These particular ones, these fish eagles, they'll way up and they're just looking for bait, and then they'll just drop down, straight down, and grab them. Like an eagle will grab a trout out of fresh water. These fish eagles will do the same thing in the salt water, and they're just literally like a bomb. They just literally splash into the water, grab the fish, and then just come up and fly away, and there be breakfast. Pretty cool. So everyone wants fish. That's the bottom line. Kind of interesting philosophically too. These, in the birds category, the cormorant swimming underwater and the fish eagle diving for his own fish, and it's a noble way to get it. They're working for their living. They're getting their own fish on their own. Then you got this guy up here sitting on top of the light post. These weasels, the dirt bags of the bird population, the seagulls, and they're just steal bait from each other, from anybody that they can. It's kind of funny when you see the cormorants come around. The seagulls if there's any bait around, the cormorants just don't take shit. They just don't, from the seagulls. And the seagulls know that. So the seagulls will be stealing from other seagulls. The cormorant will come around and just land next. Or the cormorant will just be minding his own business. And the seagull just backs off and gives him his space full on. I mean, it's just respect. Apparently they just will kick their butt, basically. Or they probably do all the time. But kind of just like the humans, right? You got the people that work hard for their living, and you got the slacker dirtbags that just mooch off society. So it's rampant. I'll shut up and fish. If the bird hierarchy had politics and philosophy, the seagulls would be the politicians and the lawyers. Beautiful looking sailboat. He's got those sails out, but I don't think he's getting no wind. It's pretty still right now. He's got the cops right behind him too, for some unknown reason that I don't know. But today I'm going to save you a little bit of money. We're going to head back to the rat cave at this point, and I'm going to show you how to snell your own hooks. With these circle hooks, especially the commercial ones, you know, you're talking 15, 20 bucks for 5 snelled. This is a fun, easy knot to learn, and when you get your spare time, and I don't know, I do mine during the winter. I tie a ton up and put them in my leader case, and so hold on, and we're going back to the rat cave, and we'll see when you get back. Yes, we are back at the rat cave, and what the next few weeks I'd like to concentrate on is imperative knots. If you're an outdoorsman, never mind just a fisherman, you're better off learning a few of these knots. They're not hard to do at all, and they're fun. And when you realize the value of each knot, each one's, I don't know how these genius guys come up with, I'm going to invent a knot, and they do, you know. So very important, and there's so many thousands of uses for each knot. If you're camping, hiking, fishing, hunting, everything outdoors, especially fishing. Without good knots, your line ain't gonna, and your gear ain't gonna stay together. So it's wise to learn a few. And the thing is that you only need about 3 for fishing, 3 or 4, you know, and you're gonna use these every time you go out fishing. So it's you're better off learning them. So I'm gonna concentrate on this for the next couple of weeks. I think I plan on doing that. I mean, unless I don't know. We'll try and see how that goes. So let's get started. So first up, I'm going to show you one of the coolest snell knots. This is a variation of a snell knot. I've been using this for decades, and you can tie your own snells and make your own leaders, right? Swivel on one end and the actual hook on the other, and this is called a snell knot, this knot here. So I'm going to show you how to do this one. So these are the components of the snell that we're going to do. It's one of the most beautiful knots, strongest knots, and you'll save a ton of money. Instead of paying $12, $15 for 5 good quality snelled hooks, you can make them yourself for like 1/4 that easily. So I use for the Canal a 10-aught circle hook. A true circle hook that's legal in Massachusetts has that pointing directly at the shank. Any other of the 100 variations of circle hooks is not legal in Massachusetts. That has to be pointing at the shank. 10-aught. And then I use 50-pound test for the Canal. 50-pound test for the snell. It's probably about 36, 40 inches. So quick and easy. Here's your hook. Here's your line. The one end of the line goes in the back door like that. And you put your thumb on it like that and hold that down. In the back door and hold that down. The second part, the other end of the line goes in the front door and goes up, all right? And then just hold this line down. Now you have this end of the line up here, and then you have this circle here. Grab this circle, go 8 turns. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. We're almost done, believe it or not. Now, the line that's coming out, the other end of the line that's coming out the back, holding everything together, just pull smoothly. Just pull this line. And there it is, a beautiful knot. That's your snell. Now really, you can haul on that really good. And this is one of the strongest knots out there for attaching your hook to your line. And it's just a beautiful knot. It's fun to do. It's a professional looking knot. And it's just, I don't think, as far as I know, using this knot, no, not as far as I know. This has never failed me, this knot, this snell. It's as strong. This variation is as strong as any commercial. Now this little piece right here, you can trim that, you know, this piece that pops out there, you know, there's no need. You can just let that go, but you can trim it if you want to look pretty. But there it is. And I prefer to have this line coming out the back. That's why I showed you how to, so when you pull, that circle hook's going to go that way. If you had it coming out the front, the pressure's not going to be right for having the circle hook catch. So I like it coming from the back. That's my theory. So I hope you learned a very useful knot. If you practice this, it's not hard, but continue to watch the film over if you want to get that. It's a simple snell, it's a beautiful knot, and you'll use it in every kind of possible fishing there is. Ice fishing, freshwater fishing, saltwater fishing, every kind there is. So that's this knot, and let's go back and see how that guy's doing on the canal. Well, boat traffic's really picking up. Welcome back. There's like 7 boats all at once. And of course, it wouldn't be summer without the banner guy flying that banner up there, up and down the canal to all the vacationers. But we're still on the Mac chunks, of course. And I had 2 hits so far, but didn't produce. The hooks haven't hooked yet. But we still giving it a fling, and we'll let you. So this is what I mean when I tell you, you got to put the time in. It's slack to slack now. Started just at dead slack this morning west, and now we're at slack. It's going to turn east. The tide is low, now it's going to come up. When the tide switches east, the tide comes up. The tide switches left, the tide is high, and it's going to go down. So you got to put the time in. Fish on. Hey, got one. Just a schoolie. Probably 20 inches, maybe 18. I'll measure them up. Well, that one was a 24, and it's sometimes it takes some time. I mean, you know, that's all there is to it. It just, some days it falls in your lap, some days you gotta work on them. But at least we got one on the board. Let's see what happens. So the boat traffic is horrendous. It's supposed to be almost 100 today. It's a gorgeous day, you can see, and relatively calm in summertime. So this traffic's just beating the canal down. So running low on bait, and it's just mainly the boat traffic. It's like so many boats. So anyway, with that, I would like to thank you all for watching. Really, thank you very much. Those of you which have not, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Really appreciate it when you do. Hope you learned something about the knots. I'll try to keep going on those. We'll see how the interest goes on it. And that's one of the coolest knots there is, that snell knot. And hope you learn how to tie it. You can save yourself a ton of dough. And my name is Paul K. Thank you very much for watching Saturday Mountains Outdoors, and we'll see you next week. Same rat time, same rat channel. See you.